Hello everyone, and welcome back to the group fitness guide. We've got a great episode for you guys this week. I am so excited for this. My name is JC. If you're new here, I'm a group fitness instructor of over 2 years. I actually just hit 600 classes, so that's kind of crazy. And I teach pretty much everything from Pilates to strength to cycle to aqua fitness. So I'm super excited about today's episode. We are talking all about how to create and improve your fitness class choreography. So this is a super fun episode. It's actually a YouTube comment request. So if you have other episode ideas that you want me to talk about, to cover, whether it is a specific tip, whether it's a situation, whether it's just something you want to know more about in the group fitness world, comment it and I will make a podcast on it. So yeah, if you're watching this on YouTube, if you're watching this on Spotify, go ahead, hit that subscribe or follow button. That way you don't miss an episode. And also check out my other content on my YouTube channel at JCSpivey and on my TikTok at JCSpivey3. We're doing a summer shred challenge that I'll talk about in a second. So, yeah, we got to do our high, our low, and our buffalo for this week. If you've never done one of these with me before, this is our highlight of the week, our low light, and just something random. And this is a fitness podcast, so it is all about fitness. Now, if you want to share yours with the class, use those comment features on both Spotify and YouTube to comment your high, low, and buffalo. Without further ado, here are mine. My high is that I secured another spin class. So basically, I work for a college right now. That is my primary source of income. I teach and I train for them. Obviously, when I graduate next spring, that's going away. Now, I work for a few other gyms in town, but I don't teach spin for them yet. And so my goal this year was, okay, you've gotten your foot in the door, you got a few classes, like you'll make some sustainable income. The one thing you love teaching is spin. Let's take this full year, give yourself a year to secure at least one spin class. And it took me I set this goal 2 weeks ago. It took me 2 weeks. It was super easy. Nothing sneaky happened. I had a friend who used to work at the college, works at one of the gyms, and she usually teaches at 5 a.m. for spin. She's switching her schedule to be teaching in the afternoons because of a job she's taking. And I was like, oh, I would love to teach it. And so she was like, yeah, I'll put in a word for you. And then I just reached out to my boss myself and I was like, hey, I've been going to her class. I love it. Like, I would be open to teaching it. And she was like, oh my gosh, so-and-so just said that you would be open to it. Boom, here you go. So it's weird to ask for things though. I'm not that kind of person who enjoys doing that, but at the same time, if you don't ask, people don't know that you want it and you won't receive it, and then you're going to hold a grudge that people never even knew that you wanted in the first place. So low is that I am really struggling with rest and recovery. I teach so much and my personal workouts have to take a back burner right now, and I just don't want that to happen, and I'm not thrilled about it, but I'm in a phase of my life where they need to. I have to focus on my nutrition right now. I have a weight loss goal that I'm working through with a coach and a program, and I'm not getting enough sleep. I'm not taking rest. I'm not recovering. I'm not foam rolling. I'm not taking electrolytes, all the different things that I need to be doing because I'm in such a strenuous environment. My work is very physical and I'm inhibiting my own progress by not doing those things. And so that kind of clicked for me. And so that's why we're doing the Summer Shred Challenge on my YouTube channel. It's a vlog series where we work on those habits for rest and recovery to support long-term progress and growth in both fitness and nutrition. So if you're interested, go follow me on that journey. I'm vlogging it. And then Buffalo Pilates Reformer training is going super well. This is one of the most fun things I've ever done. And I think going through this training, it's hard, it's difficult, it's very time consuming, but at the same time, it's setting me up for a really good foundation to be able to take some of the physical stress out of my work and have something where I can just simply be a coach. Because ultimately, that's what I got my certifications to do. I'm a great coach. I can talk you through a movement. We're gonna take a sip of my drink. This is part of the recovery, is getting in enough protein. And so let's talk all about choreography. This is one of my favorite topics because I think that if you understand how to create fitness class choreography yourself, or you understand how the system works, you can be an amazing instructor. So let's just first define fitness class choreography, just set a baseline for this podcast, okay? So fitness class choreography is when you have pre-prepared routines set to specific music. So that would mean I'm walking in to go teach a Zumba class, and I know that I'm going to teach this routine to Mi Gente. And I'm going to teach the exact same way every time we play Mi Gente. There's a difference between having choreography and moving to the beat of the music. So for example, when I teach bar, I've got songs for bar that I know work great for a BPM, and I might have a rough plan of, okay, we're going to do squats to this song. And we might do squats every time we play that song. But I'm not teaching the exact same sequence to the song every single time because I'm reading the room and I'm making adjustments based on what the room needs in the moment. But we're still moving to the beat of the music. So choreography is when you have a set routine. Moving to the beat of the music is different. You don't necessarily have to have a set routine for that. So that would be cycle, some bar classes, stuff like that. you would really have choreography for stuff like Zumba, work, just general dance fitness, step aerobics. You might have it for bar, sculpt, or cycle, depending on how you teach, but those you don't, it's not as required as it is for other things. This is not something that you memorize, such as Les Mills or MOSA programs. This is something that you create and memorize. So you're not memorizing what someone else created necessarily. We're talking about the actual creation process. So you're moving to the beat of the music. You have set counts as intervals. So you have to be able to count the music. You have to know, okay, I'm going to be doing this, I'm going to be doing that. You are not making adjustments on the spot. Okay? This is pre-choreographed, preset, memorized. You did it. That's what we're talking about today. We've discussed what this actual topic is. Let's talk about from the very beginning when you select the music to choreograph to. BPM, that means beats per minute, is super important. In fact, I would argue that BPM makes or breaks it because it's going to set the tempo. Now, 120 to 128 BPMs is right in that happy range. 128 is obviously going to be on that higher side. 120, that's probably where your warm up and your cool down are going to be. That's going to be range depending on form or objective. I've just found that that's kind of the sweet spot for choreography because your body is easily able to move to the beat of the music and be challenged without being overwhelmed. Because you have to understand, your participants are probably not coordinated. They probably all think they have two left feet, and they probably all do. So we have to make it digestible, but also still challenging for our participants. You also want something with a strong, easy to follow beat and time signature. And that is why pop music works super well for this. If you really like other forms of music, I would suggest looking at stuff like, I really like power music now, where they kind of add those beats in, they make the BPM range a little bit more fitness class friendly, and you can create choreography from there. That's a good one. But yeah, like slow Olivia Rodrigo songs, they might not work for anything other than the cool down. You also want to look at the time signature. Time signature is super important. I love to stick with a 4/4 time signature because I can count it 1, 2, 3, 4 the whole time. That is vital to it. I would recommend choosing something that is in sixes or thirds or in any sort of funky time signature. You want it to be divisible by 4 or by 8, pretty much. The question was specifically asked, how do you align choreo with your class objectives? So if you're creating choreography for a class, I'm just going to say the objective of your class is probably just muscular endurance and cardio, because you're not getting rest time if you're doing choreography in a class. There's a few different class objectives that we might follow. There's muscular strength, where we're trying to build muscle strength. There's hypertrophy, where we're trying to build actual visible definition. Power is creating those explosive movements. And endurance is how long can we put our muscles under tension for? That's like increasing the length of time under tension. And most group fitness classes work muscular endurance because there is just not enough time for rest in a group fitness class. If you are doing true strength, you are putting your body under so much tension that you need 60 to 120 seconds of rest after each set. We don't have that time in group fitness. We don't do that in group fitness. Group fitness is muscular endurance. Whether it is Pilates, whether it is a HIIT class, whether it is Zumba, it's muscular endurance. So what I would say more is there a skill objective that you're looking for? So if I'm teaching Zumba, maybe I'm teaching like a Zumba Gold, and my objective is, can we do a very basic salsa step, right? So then I would look at my choreography and I would say, what choreo do I have that teaches and repeats this basic salsa step? And if I don't have that, I'm going to create that. If I'm teaching step aerobics and I'm trying to teach an L step, I'm going to make sure that I have multiple songs with L steps that I can put into the class. If I'm teaching bar and we're really working on improving our single leg work, my choreography better have single leg work in it. So I would look less at like workout objective and more of like, do I have a skill that I want to teach? Because group fitness is just muscular endurance. Now, the basic formula for creating choreography, guys. Okay, this is a lifesaver tip. This is how I create everything, okay? Verse, pre-chorus, chorus, bridge. That's 4, okay? You have 4 sequences. That's all you get, okay? And so that sequence could be during the verse, I'm going to do a step touch to a step punch, okay? That's 2 movements combined. That's the verse. Now, during the pre-chorus, we're going to march and our arms are going to come up and down. That's the pre-chorus. Maybe during the chorus, we do our salsa step. We do 2 on each side for 4 counts each. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, other side, and back. And then we repeat that again. And then we get to the bridge and maybe we do a step pump with the arms. Boom, I've just created choreography. Right? So let's review. We did verse, step, touch, step, punch. That's an 8 count. Pre-chorus, we step, arms come up and down. Chorus, we do our salsa step for 2 on each side. That was right. This is left. Then we get to that bridge, step, pump. Boom, there's your choreo. Basic formula, because that is going to make it easier for you to memorize. I know there's all those funky rhythms and stuff. Don't worry about it. You're not a dance teacher, you're a fitness teacher. If you're a dance teacher, completely different thing. Maybe this podcast isn't for you. So just make that basic formula. You want it to be easily followable and repeatable by your participants, because ultimately group fitness should be accessible. Now there's ways to make it challenging with that. Maybe my chorus is jumping jacks. Maybe my chorus is a more complex salsa step, but it is something that is repeatable so that participants get experience with it and are doing it for more than one repetition, so that they understand what's going on. You have to give your participants enough time to get comfortable with the movement. Now, how to memorize choreography. I like this one. Okay, so there's 3 strategies that I'm going to give you. Number 1, write it down. So write down, like, let's say you're doing Rain on Me, Lady Gaga. Write down verse. What are you doing for the verse? I'm doing a step touch times 2 to a step punch times 2. Okay, then do that, repeat. Option 2, and I would recommend you do kind of all 3 of these. If you are struggling to like learn a lot and like memorize a lot and retain it, put all of the songs on shuffle. Practice 3 completely random ones every single day. That's what I do for Zumba. That's what I did when I was starting out to make sure I was learning all of my Zumba choreography. And that's what I did for my step aerobics class. Like, it helped me a lot. And option number 3, this one is my favorite. Video yourself doing the choreography, and video yourself doing the choreography and put it on like a hard drive or like a Google Drive and label it so that you can reference it. So I do this for Zumba because sometimes I'll retire a song for a while and then I need to know what that song is when I come pull it out of retirement. So we do that, and it's a really good way to have a video reference of what I'm doing, because oftentimes I'll learn choreography from Zumba and then I'll change a lot of it to fit my participants because I teach Zumba Gold. Now, how often do I recommend creating fitness class choreography? You want to make sure that it's often enough so that your participants are stimulated and that they're not bored, but not too often that you have too much on your plate. And so a good rule of thumb is I will, for my Zumba class, I will create a new choreography or learn a new piece roughly every 2 to 3 weeks. So I'm going to pull up my little calendar. So I divide everything by quarters. So right now we're in like seasonal quarters. So right now we're in what I call the summer quarter. And so this is, I set a plan roughly for, this is how I'm doing all of my summer stuff. I hate getting to this. So if I go to my Zumba, I have like a little calendar. So it says June 15th, learn Ella Quiere Mambo. So that's a piece from Zumba that I set a deadline of. By this day, I'm going to introduce this piece. Then in 2 weeks, on June 29th, I've got listed Bring Back International Love for warm-up. So that's an old warm-up song that I did, and I'm bringing it back to have a new song for warm-up. Then July 13th, I am going to make a slow cha-cha choreography for a low-impact song for my participants. So I'll be introducing a new choreography of mine that day. Then July 27th, which is 2 weeks after that, I will be doing a new warm-up for them. So that's kind of how I phase it for them, and it works really well for my group and my people. Is I do about every 2 weeks for them. For other classes, I would do every 3 weeks. If I was teaching Zumba multiple times a week, I don't know how I would do it, actually. I'm glad I'm only doing it once a week. But yeah, that is all I've got time for with this episode. I've actually got to run and teach that Zumba class. Today is the 15th, and I do have to introduce that new choreography to them. So I need to practice that. But I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. I've got a new video coming out on Saturday where we will be premiering week 1 of our summer shred. So have a great rest of your day, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.